The Untouchables. Who were they and why they became untouchables? By Baba Sahib Ambedkar. Part 6, Chapter 15. 2. The next question is whether the classes indicated by the terms Antya, Antyaja, Antevasin, and Bahaya are the same as those indicated by the term Asprashya, which etymologically means an untouchable. In other words, are they only different names for the same class of people? It is an unfortunate fact that the Dharma Sutras do not enable us to answer this question. The term Asprashya occurs only in two places, once in one sutra and twice in one smriti. But not one gives an enumeration of the classes included in it. The same is the case with the term Antya, although the term Antya occurs in six places, in two sutras and four smritis. Not one enumerates who they are. Similarly, the word Bhaya occurs in four places in two sutras and two smriti, but none of them mentions what communities are included under this term. The only exception is with regard to the terms Antyavasin and Antyajas. Here again, no Dharma Sutra enumerates them, but there is an enumeration of them in the Smritis. The enumeration of the Antyavasin occurs in the Smriti known as Madhyam Angiras and that of the Antyajas in the Atri Smriti and Veda Vyasa Smriti. Who they are will be apparent from the following table. Antyavasin, Madhyam Angiras, 1 Chandal, 2 Shwapak, 3 Shatta, 4 Suta, 5 Vedhika, 6 Magadha, 7 Ayogava. Antyaja. Atri, 1 Nata, 2 Meda, 3 Bhilla, 4 Rajaka, 5 Charmakar, 6 Buruda, 7 Kayavarta. Vedavyas, 1 Chandal, 2 Shwapak, 3 Nata, 4 Meda, 5 Bhilla, 6 Rajaka, 7 Charmakar, 8 Virat, 9 Dasa, 10 Bhatt, 11 Kolikar, 12 Pushkar. From this table, it is quite clear that there is neither precision nor agreement with regard to the use of the terms Antyavasin and Antyaja. For instance, Chandal and Shwapak fall both in Antyavasin and Antyaja according to Madhyamangiras and Vedavyas. But when one compares Madhyamangiras with Atri, they fall in different categories. The same is true with regard to the term Antyaja. For example, while Chandal and Shwapak are Antyajas according to Vedavyas, according to Atri they are not. Again, according to Atri, Buruda and Karyavarta are Antyajas, while according to Vedavyas they are not. Again, Virat, Dasa, Bhatt, Kolika and Pushkar are Antyaja according to Vedavyas, but according to Atri they are not. To sum up the position reached so far, neither the Dharma Sutras nor the Smritis help us to ascertain who were included in the category of Asparsya. Equally useless are the Dharma Sutras and the Smritis to enable us to ascertain whether the classes spoken of as Antyavasin, Antyaja, and Bhaya were the same as the Asparsya. Is there any other way of ascertaining whether any of these formed into the category of Asprashya or Untouchables? It would be better to collect together whatever information is available about each of these classes. What about the Bhayas? Who are they? What are they? Are they Untouchables? They are mentioned by Manu. To understand their position, it is necessary to refer to Manu's scheme of social classification. Manu divides people into various categories. He first makes a broad division between one Vedikas and two Dasyus. He then proceeds to divide Vedikas into four subdivisions: one, those inside Chaturvarna and those outside Chaturvarna; three, Vratya; and four, Patita or outcasts. Whether a person was inside Chaturvarna or outside was a question to be determined by the Varna of the parents. If he was born of the parents of the same Varnas, he was inside the Chaturvarna. If, on the other hand, he was born of parents of different Varnas, that is, he was the progeny of mixed marriages or what Manu calls Varna Sarnkara, then he was outside the Chaturvarna. Those outside the Chaturvarna are further subdivided by Manu into two classes. One, Anumulomas and two Pratilomas. Anulomas were those whose fathers were of a higher Varna and mothers of a lower Varna. Pratilomas were those whose fathers were of a lower Varna and mothers of a higher Varna. Though both the Anuloma and Pratiloma were alike for the reason that they were outside the Chaturvarna, Manu proceeds to make a distinction between them. The Anulomas he calls Varna Bhaya or shortly Bhayas, while Pratilomas he called Hinas. The Hinas are lower than the Bhayas, but neither the Bhaya nor the Hina does Manu regard as untouchable. Antya as a class is mentioned in Manu 479. Manu, however, does not enumerate them. Meda Tithi in his commentary suggests that Antya means Mleccha, such as Meda, etc. Buhler translates Antya as a low caste man. There is thus nothing to indicate that the Antyas were untouchables. In all probability, it is the name given to those people who were living in the outskirts or end, Anta, of the village. The reason why they came to be regarded as low is to be found in the story narrated in the Brahadaranyaka Upanishad 1.3, to which reference is made by Mr. Kane. The story is that gods and asuras had a strike, and the gods thought that they might rise superior to the asuras by the Udgithana. In this occurs the passage, this Devat Prana, throwing aside the sin that was death to those Devatas, Vak, etc., sent it to ends of these Devatas, and therefore one should not go to the people outside the Aryan Pale, nor to disarm Anta, the ends of the quarters. Thinking otherwise, I may fall in with Papanami, death. The meaning of Antya turns on the connotation of the phrase Disam Anta, Desham Anta, which occurs in the passage quoted above. If the phrase ends of the quarters can be translated as meaning the ends of the periphery of the village without its being called a far fetched translation, we have here an explanation of what Antya originally meant. It does not suggest that the Antyas were untouchables. It only meant that they were living on the outskirts of the village. As to the Antyajas, what we know about them is enough to refute the view that they were untouchables. Attention may be drawn to the following facts. In the Shanti Parvan 109.9 of the Mahabharata, there is reference to Antyajas who are spoken of as soldiers in the army. According to Sarasvati Vilasa, Pitama speaks of the 7 cases of Rajakas included in the term Antyajas as Prakritis. The term and that Prakrit meant trade, guilds such as of washermen and others is quite clear from the Sangamnar plate of Billama II dated Saka 922 which records the grant of a village to 18 Prakritis. Viramitroddhaya says that Shrenis mean the 18 castes such as the Rajaka etc. which are collectively called Antyajas. In view of these facts, how could the Antyajas be said to have been regarded as the untouchables? Coming to the Antyavasin, who were they? Were they untouchables? The term Antyavasin has been used in 2 different senses. In one sense, it was applied to a brahmachari living in the house of a gam during his term of studentship. A brahmachari was referred to as Antyavasin. It probably meant one who was served last. Whatever the reason for calling a brahmachari Antyavasin, it is beyond dispute that the word in that connection could not connote untouchability. How could it when only Brahmins, Kshatriyas, and Vaishyas can become brahmacharis? In another sense, they refer to a body of people, but even in this sense, it is doubtful if it means untouchables. According to Vasdha Sutra 18.3, they are the offspring of a Shudra father and a Vaishya mother. But according to Manu 539, they are the offspring of a Chandal father and a Nishad mother. As to the class to which they belong, the Mitakshara says that they are a subgroup of the Antyajas, which means that the Antyavasin were not different from the Antyajas. What is therefore true of the Antyajas may also be taken as true of the Antyavasin. The end.